We grow up getting told that this is the thing that everyone who is watching this video, as well as everyone who has ever existed, lives on. Have you ever took a second to look back and ask, how did we get here? Why are we here? Whose idea was this? Some will tell you that an event called the Big Bang happened and created our world. Others will say God built it, and it took 7 days to create the earth. How do you see it? When looking back, we are told that our ancestors once looked like this, and lived in places that look like this. But time moved forward, and events took place in such a way that brought us to where we are now in this exact moment. If the dice of life have played out slightly different from how they did, we may not even exist. And you watching this video could have never happened, for I would have never happened. This story takes place with an ancestor named Henry, a young farmer living in a remote village. One fateful day, Henry encounters a wounded traveler on the outskirts of his village. Instead of leaving the traveler to his fate, Henry decides to offer assistance and brings him back to his home. Little does Henry know that this traveler, named Edward, is a distant descendant of an influential noble family. Edward, now healed and grateful for Henry's kindness, reveals his true identity and invites Henry to the city, where he introduces him to the world of academia and intellectual pursuits. Inspired by this exposure, Henry's perspective expands, and he develops a passion for learning and innovation. In his pursuit of knowledge, he meets a woman one day, marries her, and a child is born. Sarah, Henry's daughter, inherits her father's thirst for knowledge and becomes an accomplished scholar. While deep in her studies, she meets a man, falls in love, and gets married. Together, they make a groundbreaking discovery in the field of medicine, developing a revolutionary treatment for a common illness. Sarah and her husband's contribution to medicine saves countless lives and earns widespread recognition. As well as creating life-saving medicines, they created a child. Thomas, Sarah's son, grows up excelling with math and an infatuation for the arts. Even at a young age, he was able to recognize his privilege. As he had a strong sense of justice and compassion, he witnesses the oppression of the lower class by the ruling elite and decides to take action. Thomas becomes a charismatic leader in a growing movement for social equality, advocating for reforms that would benefit all members of society. In his quest for equality, he met a young woman with the same ideals and had a child. Emily, Thomas's daughter, follows in her father's footsteps and becomes an influential politician. She uses her position to enact significant legislative changes that improve the lives of the marginalized and vulnerable. Emily's policies create a more equitable society, fostering peace and stability for future generations. Emily ends up having a son named John, and he is born into a world shaped by his mother's reforms. He grew up with a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility, knowing the sacrifices made by his ancestors to create a better world. Even as a scholar and a diplomat, John felt it was only right to go fight when the World War broke out. While overseas, John met a woman and created Olivia. John's daughter inherits her father's diplomatic skills and combines them with her passion for environmental conservation. She plays a pivotal role in brokering international agreements to address the pressing global issues, such as climate change and biodiversity loss. Olivia's efforts contribute to the preservation of our planet for future generations. Olivia ends up having a daughter named Sophia, and she is born into a world where the consequences of human actions on the environment are widely recognized and thrown in her face every day in school. She becomes an influential environmental activist, mobilizing communities and inspiring collective action to protect the earth. Sophia's tireless advocacy leads to transformation changes in policies and behaviors, ensuring a sustainable future. Now, if we were to alter that initial event, and if Henry didn't offer to help the wounded traveler, the chain of events that followed would be completely different. Edward would have remained undiscovered, and Henry's life would have followed a more conventional path. As a result, the subsequent generations would have not had the opportunities for education, innovation, social reform, and environmental advocacy. The person living today, Sophia, would have never existed, and the world would be without her impactful contributions. This fictional scenario serves as a reminder of the inherent preciousness of life and the immense value of every individual. It underscores the notion that our existence is intricately tied to the actions and choices of our ancestors. Each generation, with their unique contributions and experiences, has played a part in creating the world we live in today. For those fortunate enough to grow up in a progressive society where education, equality, and environmental consciousness are valued, it becomes even more essential to recognize the privilege and opportunities bestowed upon us. It is a reminder to not take these advancements for granted and to actively participate in creating a better future. When we consider the remarkable chain of events and the countless individuals who come before us, it becomes evident that life is a delicate tapestry of interconnectedness. It highlights the responsibility we bear to cherish and nurture our own lives and the lives of those around us. Let us not forget the sacrifices, struggles, and achievement of our ancestors that have paved the way for progress. May we appreciate the opportunities afforded to us and strive to make a positive impact in our own time. By recognizing the preciousness of life and embracing the values of compassion, justice, and environmental stewardship, we can contribute to a brighter and more inclusive world for future generations to come.